Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with Season 2, Episode 6, seems like finally, for Fire Force Episode 6. But with that finally comes a bit of unfortunate news. And I want to make it clear right away, I'm not dropping this series. But we are going to be putting it on hold a lot earlier than expected. But there's a very specific reason, and I actually think it's a pretty damn good reason. And it's not because of me, surprisingly. Um, See, here's the deal. When I download episodes for reactions, I usually get them from one of two sites. One of these sites, Anime Pahe, is very quick with downloads. It's like basically just a couple clicks and it downloads really fast. It's really good, really useful. But a lot of times Anime Pahe doesn't have dubs. So if there's a dub or just something else I'm missing or whatnot, I go to 9 Anime. 9 Anime's problem is it's a lot harder to download from. They use a different source for their downloads, and because of it, it not only just takes longer, but it uses a site that causes a shit ton of pop-ups and ads and whatnot that slow down the entire computer, not just the browser, but the entire computer, to the point where it can actually freeze the browser for a good amount of time. And not to mention the pop-ups a lot of times try to download shit for me, and it's like I have to stop that, and it's like what would take me like maybe a max total of 5 minutes to download an episode off of Anime Pahe, for 9 Anime takes me at least double that, at least 10 minutes. And that's if you're generous. That's if you actually don't have to struggle a lot. And that's just for a single episode. That's just for one episode. That may not seem like a lot to the average person. It's like, oh, you have to wait 10 minutes. Woo. But the thing is, I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me. Excuse me. At least I felt it coming. The thing is, with the way I've been doing things lately, I download the episodes when I get to them. Because I react to what I want to when I want to, I don't really have a schedule or anything. Because of that, I don't download the episodes until I get to them, because I don't know what I'm going to want to download. I don't know what I'm going to want to get to. So why just download everything ahead of time and take up a lot of space on my computer? Instead, I just download when I get to it and go from there. I think that's just a better method, honestly. Plus, that way I don't have to spend forever trying to download everything early. But yeah, so because of that, I have decided to take a break from Fire Force, specifically to get those episodes pre-downloaded. During this time I'm off from Fire Force, I'm going to pre-download every episode of the rest of the season. This way I can just have them ready for when we get back, and I don't have to worry about that shit anymore. Because Fire Force is pretty much the only one I'm still having to rely as much on 9 Anime for. I use 9 Anime for Ruby as well, but that's like that doesn't take as much time, because I usually do those on Saturday, and my free time is just available a lot more that day anyway. Um, because during the week when I record, I usually record early, and so I'm trying to get a rush. I'm trying to rush it through so I can get to or get it all done by a certain time or as close to as possible. But when I'm recording like Ruby on a Saturday, it's just like, okay, let's just get this done. If I have it recorded and if I have it downloaded in time, cool. It's like I have the time. I'm not really as worried about it because I don't really have as much of a time limit per se. Does that make any sense? um, I'm not as I don't feel as constricted, and since it's the only thing I usually record on Saturdays for the most part, I don't really have as much a worry about it. But with Fire Force, it's like that's a show would record during the week, and it's just it takes up a good amount of time. And again, with it freezing my browser and everything, I can't really do anything outside of like just either playing something or watching YouTube on my DS or DS on my Switch while I wait. And who knows how long it can take? It always varies. And I mean, how long it takes to unfreeze. Because after it unfreezes, I still have to get it downloaded after that. I have to go through all the pop ups and ads still. So, yeah, we're going to be taking a break and um, we're going to be downloading all the episodes ahead of time so that when we come back, we'll be ready. And it actually times out fairly well because this episode is the last of the arc. So it's going to be going into a new arc. Because of that, it actually times out pretty well. I think this episode, from what I heard, both ends the last arc and technically begins the next one, which is I think something we had in the last season too. So that's fine. I'm okay with that. Um, we'll technically begin this next arc, but it won't really begin until next episode. It's probably just going to be a small amount of content in this one for the next arc. Just kind of briefly introducing. Um, but yeah, unfortunately, we will be taking a break. I'll talk about it in the afterthoughts on what will be replacing it for the time being. Um, but it is only temporary. And unlike with the first impressions stuff that we had been reacting to and are still on hold, um, we will be coming back to this like right after the next show. We're not going to preempt this. Or hell, if the other for donation reward series we have going finishes first, which it might, because it's Dragon Prince and it's 9 episode season. If that finishes before we either finish the next series or take a break on the next series that's in this slot, we'll just bring Fire Force over to that slot. Either way, Fire Force will be returning um, once I have all the episodes downloaded, but not until. So if I don't have all the episodes downloaded before Dragon Prince ends, then yeah, probably not gonna bring it back just yet. But it's gonna be like right away, pretty much. So I just want to make that clear. It's not being dropped by any means. I have no reason to drop it. I've been enjoying this season, like very much so, especially with Inca. Um, it's just going to be put on a little bit of a break just until we can make sure we don't have to worry about this shit anymore. This is the only series I'm really having the trouble with it too, because again with Ruby it's just one a week and it's on a day where it doesn't really bother me that much, where it doesn't really affect things too much. Every other series we're currently reacting to, I don't use 9 anime for. Like, in fact, the only other series that's even an anime is One Piece, and that I get off of, Anime Pahe. So, yeah, it's that's just how we're gonna have to make it go for now. So I apologize to Matthew. I apologize to everyone else for having to wait a little longer. But at least we're not leaving it off in the middle of an arc, right? And again, it will be back. So don't worry about that. Maybe we'll be able to get through the rest of it in one go too, um, rather than having to wait. Excuse me. Um, Rather than having to take another break. I mean, we'll probably be able to get through it all in one go, maybe, but we'll see. But yeah, like I said, I'll talk more about that in the afterthoughts. I just wanted to bring it all up here because it's kind of important. But last we left off, we were in the middle of these fights still. We had the Fire Force teaming up to stop the fires in the town using the second generations and all. And we had Inca still at the crossroads between the fight of Shinra and the big guy whose name I can still not remember. It's like I tried to remember it last time by using like part of his name, and I remember that I used part of his name to try and remember it, but I can't remember what it was now. Uh, but yeah, it's like he's kind of overwhelming Shinra. It's like Shinra's getting some good hits in and stuff, but it's not enough. He's just still not experienced enough at this point. Um, but it's starting to look like Inca's going to side with the Whiteclads just because of the danger element. She has this addiction to danger, so she's going to side with them because she sees more potential in that than sticking with the Fire Force. Though that could change in the future, who knows? I still trust her. I don't think she's a bad person by any means, so we'll have to see. Either way, we're going to get this started and find out, see where this arc ends. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades black and then it fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So Inca's story comes to an end, at least for now. It'll most likely bring this back up at a later time in a later arc. So, Inca has chosen to go with the Whiteclads, which we kind of saw coming. I'm still thinking it's possible that she'll change her mind and come back to the side of good. Because I don't think she's a bad person. She's so infatuated with danger and risk that it drives her entire motivation. And on top of that, now with her powers, seeing these lines and everything, she sees it as like something she is required to do. She almost believes that it's destiny. That if she sees the lines, she has to trace them. That she doesn't have a choice. So when she saw the line over Panda, I don't think she wanted to do that, but she felt she had to. She felt like she had no choice in the matter, which is really sad. And it's like, the problem is because of her mindset, because of how her mind works as well, she wasn't mourning or crying or showing visible upsetness over it because she just believed that's just what was supposed to happen. And it's like those were her friends who died, but she's she's messed up. Let's honestly just say it. She's messed up. And she needs to be helped. She's not I'm going to reiterate this over and over. She's not a bad person. I don't believe that. I believe she just has a lot of troubles and a lot of issues that she needs help working out. And maybe her time with the White Clads is going to show her that. Maybe she's going to get to a point where her life really is about to be snuffed out, and that causes her to realize, I don't want this. This is too much. I don't know. But for the time being, this mission was partially a failure. Like, yes, they saved the town and everything, but Inca was taken. And not just taken, she chose to go. They technically failed. And it's a good thing for Shinra that those people were there to thank them. The citizens did thank them for saving their town and everything. Because if not for that, Shinra probably would have spiraled into a very dark place, just having failed. Like, knowing Shinra, he would have like gotten back out of it, but he would have been stuck there for a little bit. I think having failed that badly and feeling that responsible for Inca going with the White Clads, I think that would have done a lot more harm to him if it wasn't for having those people coming and thanking them. I think that helped him kind of come back out of that and move on, move forward. And he was still upset. You could see how upset he was. It's not even like it didn't affect him at all. It still very much did. So I really like how they did that. And I like that we see that not every mission's going to be a success. Not every person's going to be saved. But we are moving into the next arc. And this arc is going to have us explore the Chinese peninsula. So I think this has been mentioned before, but if not, it was just kind of, I guess, obvious enough. When the Great Cataclysm happened, it caused tectonic plates to move around, which caused the world basically to be reshaped. The entire world was like, the layout of the continents and everything was reshaped. And because of just everything being fucked up, things were also just societies collapsed and had to be rebuilt and everything, so things were different. Japan is now just Tokyo, basically, the Tokyo Empire. And China is now just known as the Chinese Peninsula. So things are a lot different, and there's probably nowhere near as many countries as there used to be. The Chinese Peninsula is probably not even just China. It's probably like a lot of other places that were in that general area before. And, you know, aren't now. In fact, let me see if I can go back and look at that map real quick. I'm going to mute this, obviously, so we don't get copyrights attacked. I want to find this map again here. If I can find it. Hold on. Because it like briefly showed a map of the world and everything. Okay. Okay, I think it's the maps we usually have in America has North America on the left side of the map. instead of the right, but that it's showing on the right side now. So it looks like Africa, I think, I think it's just reversed so that America's on the right side. But if you like change that, it's like it's not too different. Just land masses are obviously like shifted a bit. Like it looks like Africa's like a little less connected to things than it used to be. I would have to compare this to a regular map, but it looks like land masses have maybe shifted in terms of like they're like a little more diagonal or something. I guess you could say. Plus, like chunks of stuff have broken off a little more. It looks like, but it mostly looks like the same general land masses are the same. Um, you can see where Japan is. And so it's like Korea would be right around there too, but I guess Korea just probably doesn't exist as we know it anymore. So it's just all of that's the Chinese peninsula. I'm not sure exactly how it's supposed to be looked at here. Like exactly which part they're going to. Oh, wait, no. Hold on. Oh, I see. Never mind, I was wrong. Because okay, it shows the map with all like the blue water and the green and everything. I think that's supposed to be pre-cataclysm because then it like transitions to what looks like just a bunch of broken up land and everything, like just a bunch of rocks and shit. And it's like, so I think you can kind of still see what's supposed to be Japan here, but then also like there's this kind of chunk of rocks that like are barely connected to anything else, and I think that's supposed to be what's left of China at that point, or just that landmass in general. If that is the case, and like when it like shifts to red and everything, and you see like the land is now like a darker red color, I think that's what's supposed to be like the current landmass and everything. And if so, that means a shit ton of land is just gone because it's like comparing the two, it's like night and day. Like there's so much more land prior, and then a lot of it is just gone. It's not even that it's shifted, it's just gone. Like North America is barely even there anymore. South America too. It's like it almost looks like South America shrunk. Australia's pretty fucked up and barely there. It's like okay, so I think that's what's going. Africa is pretty gone as well. It seems like the Europe, Russia, um, China, that continent and everything seems to be like the most remaining in terms of land mass and area that still exists. But it's like, yeah, that's. I think that's. I think I misunderstood that at first. I think that's what it's supposed to be showing. So there's. Yeah, the world was really fucked up. Which makes sense with as big of a worldwide cataclysm as that is. It's like it makes sense that things would be that fucked up. So that's really interesting. That the landmass has just been that devastated, which makes it even more. I shouldn't say. I shouldn't say. Okay, I'll mention this at the very end of the video. I'll tell you when I'm gonna go into that. Okay. But in the meantime, because I don't want to spoil anyone who doesn't know about certain things. I have a spoiler on something. It's kind of a spoiler for this series, but not really. But it spoils something kind of big that this series is connected to still. But I'll talk about that in the afterthoughts. Or not in the afterthoughts. This is all the afterthoughts. I'll talk about it after I get to the other stuff, and so I'll just like I'll let you know when the spoilers are about to begin. Either way, so let's talk about what is going to replace this for the time being before we move into the next arc, so I can just get all the episodes downloaded. Once again, if you didn't see the pre-thoughts for whatever reason, we are going to be taking a break a lot earlier than expected just because of the sites that I download from. The one I kind of have to get Fire Force from since I'm doing the dub. Basically, it's very difficult to download from. It causes a lot of slowdown and everything on my computer straight up freezing. Um, and there's a lot of pop-ups and stuff that try to download shit, and it's just like it's a lot of trouble. And since I usually try to download episodes basically when I'm going to get to them, because I don't know what I'm going to get to and when I'm going to get to it, it's just I feel like I need to get episodes downloaded ahead of time for this series specifically. So we're going to take a break. I'm going to download all the rest of the episodes of the season during that break. And so that when we come back, we can just get to them without having to worry. Because that's been the main reason that I haven't been getting to, episodes of this series as often. It's the main reason that I seem to be putting this off. Because I've been enjoying the season. It's definitely nothing with the season. It's just been that. I just don't want to download the episodes from that site. But yeah, if you want all the details, you can check out the pre-thoughts again if you haven't or whatnot. But let's talk about what's going to replace it for the time being. Fire Force will be coming back as soon as I can after I get all the episodes downloaded. So it will be coming right back. It's not going to be waiting for a while like the Impressions continuations ones have. So don't worry about that. But yeah, so Fire Force Season 2 will be on break for now, and it is going to be replaced by, obviously, another donation rewards series. There's quite a few on my list I could go with, next. And we do still have Dragon Prince going on as another slot for donation rewards, so we have another donation reward slot still going. Right now, out of everything we still have, and we do still have quite a few to get to, because the list just keeps growing, and donation reward shows take a little longer to get to sometimes, because we only can do so much. But I think the one that I want to get to the most, which is kind of what I'm going to base this on right now, that I want to get to the most, I want to start something new. And I think out of the ones that we have on here, the one that I'm most interested in checking out first, or at least just based on this moment, is Noragami. Noragami is a reward from Sweet Venom. And I feel like we haven't had a Sweet Venom series reward in a while. It may not have been as long as I'm thinking, but like currently we have Matthew and Smurf, and before we had another Matthew one with Bochi, although that didn't entirely work out for me, but so yeah. I feel like we do Sweet Venom's movie rewards all the time because there's just so many. So it's now we're getting to a series. So yeah. I don't know much of anything about Noragami because I haven't heard much of anyone talk about it. But I have seen the opening to, I think it's the second season, which is Noragami Arigoto. I have seen the opening to that, mostly because I heard a English cover of it, I think, by Amelie. and the English cover is so fucking good that it made me want to hear the like original and then see the opening. And it's like it's such a good fucking song no matter what language it's in. So I have seen the opening to that, but completely out of context, so I know nothing. I don't know anything about this series. I don't even remember a lot of what happened in the opening. And I'm sure I've seen the first season's opening, but I just don't remember it. So yeah, I don't know what to expect with this series, but we will be beginning that uh pretty much right away whenever we can get to it. Whenever we can start it. And we will be doing that in the sub and probably getting that from Anime Pahe. So no real issues there. So yeah, Noragami will be replacing Fire Force for the time being, but Fire Force Season 2 will be back as soon as we get all the episodes downloaded and don't have to worry about that shit anymore. So yeah. But that being said, for all of you who are not going to stick around for the spoilery stuff, thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the reaction. I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. But for all of you who do want to know what I'm talking about with these afterthoughts, stick around or with these spoiler thoughts, stick around because we're going to begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Okay, so spoilers, spoiler-wise. So I'm talking about the land masses here, and I'm thinking it's interesting that everything seems to be broken up and absolutely destroyed the way it is, and I think that's pretty interesting and raises some questions because I don't know all the details, but I do know that Fire Force is a prequel to Soul Eater. They're both by the same original mangaka, and I do know that was basically confirmed through the ending of the Fire Force manga. I don't know all the details, I just know that it's a thing. So if Soul Eater takes place after the events of Fire Force, I don't remember if in the anime for Soul Eater, I don't know the manga, but I don't remember if in the anime we got any information on the world or the map or anything. So I can't say on that, but that means that that the setting of Death Vegas, which is like the old Las Vegas and everything, is not at all like how it used to be. So there's like no like North America really anymore. If I'm looking at this map correct, like the area, like it shows like the original map and then the current map, and it's like the area where Las Vegas would be is just water. There is nothing there. So Death Vegas, I think I called it New Vegas before. Death Vegas would have to be somewhere in like the upper right hand corner of the new map shown, somewhere in those land masses. Probably the two big ones. There, and probably the left one of the two big ones on the right side. Maybe near the bottom or so. I don't know. That's the thing. Because it would be like in that grid square lower than that. I can't show it because copyright bullshit will still try to claim it if I show anything. I've had that issue with still images before. But like it's like on a grid pattern on the screen. If you wanted to go back to the reaction and check that part, it's about 17 minutes in to the episode. So try to figure that out with where my reaction is. But like it's on a grid system, and there's a square underneath that left landmass on the right side, the left big landmass on the top right. There's a square underneath that's almost completely empty, but that's around where Las Vegas would basically be, based on seeing the map ahead of time. Actually, maybe it would be in the other square next to it. I'm trying to think of exactly where Nevada is. I'm not great with that. So, but somewhere around one of those two squares, maybe like bridging right between them a little bit, somewhere in that area. So it's like the area where Las Vegas was is just gone. So Death Vegas is like somewhere mixed in there, which is really interesting. Um, I don't think I can check. I can look it up real quick, see if there was anything. Soul Eater world map, because I don't think we ever saw anything with that. I might be wrong, but okay. Apparently, like I'm looking at this, there's something from like the fandom where it says old world, and it shows a really broken up landmasses that look kind of like what it does in this episode. But that's saying old world? That might be spoilers. Maybe. Like that might be how it connects. Because there's another thing that says New World and it shows the planet and shows like bigger land masses. Hmm. There might be some bigger connection there with Fire Force. I have no idea how this is gonna go. That I might have spoiled myself even more there on accident. If I did, it wasn't by much. It was like just a tiny thing. It doesn't spoil any plot details or anything, but still. Um, but yeah, so I'm just curious about how all of this is going to connect. I'm obviously not going to look up like how the story ends or anything. I know season 3 is going to be coming this year. Is that going to be the final season of the anime, or is there going to be one more after that? I actually don't know because I don't know how much left in the manga there is after season two's events. Um, but I'm definitely interested to see that connection. And I believe there was some like Fire Force and Soul Eater collab event or something that just like was announced this year or something. And there's even I've heard people like wondering if there's going to be a new Soul Eater anime for the I think it's 15th anniversary this year. So it's like I've been hearing a lot of talk about these shows. Um, and if there is a new Soul Eater anime that goes further than the original anime did, and I guess does the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood treatment and like more closely follows the manga, no, I'd be good with that. I would be very good with that. Um, I would hope they'd get the same English voice actors back though. Like they really did well. I thought they really did well, especially during the madness stuff. But anyways, yeah, I'm just kind of curious to how the world stuff is gonna work, like leading into Soul Eater and everything. Um, who knows? Who knows? Because I don't know how a lot of the world is currently in Fire Force. We only really know about Tokyo, and I guess we're now going to know about the Chinese Peninsula. We don't know like the remnants of the rest of the world. So it'll be interesting to see for sure. Um, but in the meantime, thank you all for those of you who still tuned in to these spoilery thoughts and everything. And for now, yeah, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.